Thanks for having me here. Amazing film. I went out, bought an Ultra HD TV. They sent me the review copy of the Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah, excellent.
And it was awesome.
Oh, wow, cool. Thanks, Louis. I appreciate that.
What are you looking most forward to from the Blu-ray?
Oh, the research material that they've captured. You know, there's two elements for me. It was like going back to that time when we were researching the film and the people that we had met. I hadn't seen them in a while. When I saw the documentary of the McKays, it brought me back all these great feelings for sure. And then, you know, seeing the work that was done in the music landscape, because this film didn't have a lot of dialogue. Boy, the Danas really brought up the score to kind of help support us where we needed it to. And so seeing that documentary was really inspiring for me as well.
Directing the film, the fine line between keeping a child's attention.
Yeah.
My 7-year-old watched the whole thing.
Oh, right
He seldomly does that.
Yeah.
And also having real villains. I mean, there were some scary things going on there.
Absolutely.
How do you do that? The fine line between, you know, getting those two together.
Well, you know what's funny is it's really trying to honor what Arlo's journey is. And Arlo's journey is about trying to get through his fears. And the only way that can work is that if you feel some of those fears. If you don't feel that, then the struggle is moot at that point. And so trying to balance it so that we don't show everything about what's something scary, just trying to show something in terms of anticipation, you know, like setting up fears that you're like, okay, these characters are coming back. Oh my goodness, that's terrifying. And also at the same time, you know, setting up the stakes so that you know that they're dangerous was a big deal for us. And finding that balance was very difficult because there was stuff that we were like, that's too far, take it out. Or that's not enough, let's add a little bit more. And so it would be a back and forth for sure. But you would trust your gut. I asked my kids too the same thing about moments, and you would go through that process.
There's one scene in particular, a little bit of a spoiler here, with the roach thing, the cockroach thing, and then he just comes in and eats the head.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's so funny about that was when we were out researching, like, there was such an unpredictability to nature and animals, you know, like knowing a dog out there that all of a sudden, like, we kept wanting to make it so that you didn't know, it wouldn't communicate every decision it would make with its eyes. Like with humans, I feel like you could imagine a human going like, I'm gonna take that without saying it. But an animal will just look and then just like, and tear it up. And we really wanted to capture that side of a Spot for sure.
Was there any particular scene you were like blown away watching in the theater?
Yeah, you know what? I literally cried when I saw that big sequence when Arlo and Spot are running through the birds and everything when we were scoring it. There was something really emotional about, because there was a lot of work to try to create the landscape and the simulation of all the birds that Arlo goes through. That was up at Warner Brothers on this big giant screen, and then hearing, you know, the 80-piece orchestra put the music on top of that was moving because it was the same thing. It was just like all these artists had made this film or the picture, and now all these artists are making the sound to it, and it was very, very thrilling. As
a director, how important is the score? Because for me as a viewer, we could set the whole tone, but...
Yes, absolutely. It is, you know, more than half the movie, and you know, you're not whistling the background. It's always some of the music that always can haunt. For me, because this movie doesn't have a lot of dialogue, it played a huge part to the kind of emotional storyline, and we would talk to Michael and Jeff a lot about that and how he would support it. So it is extremely important.
Is this an idea you've had for a long time, or how did it all get conceived?
No, this was pitched by another director early on, about 6 years ago, named Peter Sohn, and I had worked with him on Up, and then he asked me to come develop the project, and so I came on, and you know, we came up with, we just started developing these characters, and at that time Arlo was older, Spot talked, and so there was a whole, it was like such a different thing. And when I took over, I just wanted to honor Bob's original concept, and so it all stemmed from his original pitch, though.
Could you talk a little bit about directing voice actors? Like, how does it work, or you know, are they in the same room, or is it all separate?
Yeah, most always it's always in the same room, and for me, having done years of kind of temporary voice or scratch stuff at Pixar, I've learned a lot of tools from other directors that I really appreciated. You know, and for me, it's always trying to create like a trusting, safe environment to be vulnerable. Some performers don't need that because they're such pros, but then there are others that you can feel. And so it's just a reading game for me about like how's the performer reacting to the direction, or how many times we've done it, or are they confused, or do I need to clarify anything? But it's a big game of trust for sure.
Other than The Good Dinosaur, what's your favorite Pixar film?
I would say Ratatouille would be one of my favorite movies there. I think having worked on that one, it was also a challenging one where there was a director change on it. I learned a lot from it, and for me, more than just the fun, it's the amount that I learned on a project, and that was one of the ones that I learned most on.
And my final question: the moral of the story.
Oh yeah, The Good Dinosaur is all about like how do you survive your fears, and for Arlo, love is that secret answer for him. As simple as it is, trying to make that meaningful was a big part of making this thing. And I had 2 kids during the making of this movie, and hopefully that's something that they can take away from it as well.
It was amazing. Check it out. The Blu-ray's awesome. Woo! All right, thank you. Thank you.
I think we went far enough today. Let's get you home.
Where am I? I need to get home.
I got a job for you. Keep on the dodge and sidle up the lob while they pass them horn heads.
What?
That creature protected you. What is his name?
I don't know.
I name him, I keep him. Killer.
Stinky!
Violet.
Spike!
Lunatic!
Spot! Spot! Come here, Spot, come here!
Well, ain't you just the cutest thing?
I'm done being scared.
If you ain't scared, you ain't alive.
I miss my family. Huh? You don't understand. Oh.